think that this party is the most united that it's ever been. We are an incredible team that's working together collectively and collaboratively.
I think we have a really strong conservative movement in Alberta, and Premier Smith is a great leader for that. She's making sure that everyone is pulling in the same direction, and yeah, absolutely. I see a long-term future for our Conservative Party and our Conservative movement under Premier Smith's leadership.
You know, chatting with people out here at Stampede, I know that they're excited about the direction we've been going as a government and really excited about her leadership style. So, you know, I'm looking forward to the leadership race or review that's coming up here this fall, and you know, I think she's going to pass with flying colors.
Thank you all for coming out. Happy Stampede. Let's do it one more time on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Adam Soos here for Rebel News. We're on location at the Premier's Stampede Breakfast. You know, folks, it can be difficult to lead Conservatives in this province, and that's because unlike the NDP or the Liberals, who tend to fall in love with a candidate and support them no matter what, as we've seen with folks like Justin Trudeau, Conservatives vote based on ideas, not for people necessarily. And so when people become discontent, well, they let their officials know. There have actually been, I believe, 5 leaders of the Conservatives effectively ejected based on leadership reviews and changes of opinions and ideas among the voting base. Now, Danielle Smith is trying to change that. Alberta clearly needs some continuity and some stability, and that's what she's trying to do. So today, I'm going to be asking a number of MLAs if they feel that Danielle Smith is doing a good enough job to keep Conservatives united. Now, it's pretty clear if you look at the polling that Premier Smith is doing pretty well, but there have started to be rumors and murmurs of questions surrounding her support, the leadership review, all that. From your perspective within the United Conservative Party and talking to your colleagues and MLAs, what's the level of support for Premier Danielle Smith?
Oh, lots of support. She's doing terrific work. I don't think anybody wants to see us changing path at all. Look, we're a Democratic Party. We're grassroots. We have in our Constitution the need for leadership review between elections. That's a good thing. We welcome it as a party, and I know the Premier welcomes it as a leader. It's a chance for her to make sure that she sees exactly what the membership is looking for. When she gets that 50% plus one all the way to, you know, whatever the number is up on the high end, whatever it is, to me, that's what she needs to show Albertans, that she has the confidence and majority of our party.
Premier Smith is doing an incredible job. She's amazing. You know, I don't know where the doubt is coming from, because our colleagues, our entire caucus is behind Premier 100%.
I think she did a good job to start with, and she's totally growing into the job and getting better at it all the time.
You know, I think everybody's very supportive. I travel all across the province, and I hear just so much positive response for the Premier and the work that we're doing in Alberta government. And you know, we're Conservatives. We're going to be complaining. That's a given. But when it comes right down to it, I think overall Albertans are extremely happy with what's been going on. And again, there's always little things, but let's face it, we're not going to agree on everything all the time.
Yeah.
But in the end, we know we have a job to do. And again, what I hear from the average Albertan is great reviews.
Yeah, I think Premier Smith's doing an amazing job. She's leading a united caucus. We're working hard for all Albertans. We understand affordability is still a big issue, so we're making sure we're taking care of that, building a strong economy, and I'd love to see the Premier out in the Stampede spirit and providing good leadership to everyone.
I'm hearing great things about Danielle's leadership, but I got to tell you, I've spent a lot of time working in my constituency. I was just recently in Viking, worked through the crowds. People are very happy with the work that Danielle Smith is doing, so I have nothing but positive reviews to give her. And I've worked through the entire community, Daysland, Toefield, Camrose, everywhere. They're all happy.
So you think that's a few squeaky wheels maybe getting more attention from the press than is reflective of reality?
I think the press needs to have something to talk about.
Yeah, that's fair.
To be honest.
I think that this party is the most united that it's ever been. We are an incredible team that's working together collectively and collaboratively under the leadership of Premier Smith, who has worked together with all caucus members to make sure that everybody is heard, that everybody has an opportunity to provide input in caucus and elsewhere, and that everybody is properly utilized. We have an incredible chemistry in this caucus, one that I've never experienced before.
How united is the United Conservative Party right now?
Solid. Yeah, like big tent party, all that thing. You can hear the usual canned speeches, but we've got good representation for each one of the constituencies. You got people that have voices at the table. As whip, I don't really discipline people. We just nudge them and coordinate them. So I think more myself as project manager, superintendent. You've got high-performing people. You just common goals and objectives. And I would rather have thoroughbreds in there than a bunch of old mules drudging along. So when you have people that are high-performing, Every once in a while, the stall doors will get kicked, but people shouldn't get shocked by that. That's what you want. It's a strong team. As far as the unity, we've got a solid crew. So we hear these ripples, but I'm not seeing it on our side. So thanks for giving me the opportunity to actually address, the elephant in the room, so to speak.
I think she's doing an outstanding job. I mean, look at our economy, look at the jobs, look at everything that's booming in Alberta and happening in Alberta. In my constituency office, it's pretty quiet. And usually things are loud in the constituency office if people are unhappy. She's doing a good job, and she's proving that every month and every week that goes by.
She's leading the country, making sure that we get our issues before the federal government. And I think that's what Albertans are most proud of, is that we're standing strong for the things that we value. I don't think there's any weakness in caucus at all right now.
Well, I think Premier Smith is doing a fantastic job. She has my absolute confidence. Chatting with people out here at Stampede, I know that they're excited about the direction we've been going as a government and really excited about her leadership style. So, I'm looking forward to the leadership race or review that's coming up here this fall, and I think she's going to pass with flying colors.
I can tell you I've never been part of a more unified team that sole goal is to make sure that Albertans are the Albertans' needs are being met. And under her leadership, this is something that's happening right now.
Now, the United Conservative Party, there have been sort of divides. Looking at conservatism going back, given that voters vote based on ideas, not just to support a leader, it can be challenging. Do you think Danielle Smith might be ushering in a legacy of longer leadership, or do you think those divides are going to slowly start to creep in again?
So I think we have a really strong conservative movement in Alberta, and Premier Smith is a great leader for that. She's making sure that everyone is pulling in the same direction, and absolutely. I see a long-term future for our conservative party and our conservative movement under Premier Smith's leadership.
She has worked very closely with every single caucus member to make sure that their needs are being met and that they're properly utilized in caucus and elsewhere outside through the work of committees, through the work of in the various ministries and whatnot. She's also incredibly compassionate and understanding, and she works very closely with each of us to make sure that we're all well equipped for what we need and that we have all the support that we need. I very much believe that Premier Smith will serve for as long as she wants to.
How important is it, though, that Conservatives are picky, unlike maybe Liberals or NDP voters? We don't just stick with our guy or gal no matter what. How important is it that we do vote based on principles and hold our politicians to higher accountability?
That's definitely, we do have to hold our politicians to account, and that's, we as politicians accept that, and it's great because we know Albertans want to have their say. But when it comes down to it, I don't believe that Albertans really want to see any dramatic changes right now. If you agree with somebody 80-85% of the time, I think that's pretty good.
Do you think that it's essential to have that level of accountability, to have that scrutiny, and have people voting based on principles instead of just rallying behind, say, Justin Trudeau?
Oh, I mean, Justin Trudeau is a whole nother can of worms. I think we can all agree that he's not somebody that's listening to the democracy and the interest of Canadians writ large. Premier Smith, on the other hand, is doing exactly what we said in our election, in her leadership race. I'm a big supporter of Premier Smith. I think she's doing a terrific job. I tell you, I'm going to be voting for her, and I encourage everyone else to do so as well if they're party members when it comes to that leadership review coming up. But we welcome it. It's a part of our system. I know the Premier does too. She's a grassroots politician in Conservative politics, and I think it's a great opportunity for us to say, as soon as we get that 50% plus one, or all the way up to the top end, we're very, very happy to see her continue on, lead this party through the next 3 years of government, and again to another major election.
So what do you think makes Danielle Smith potentially different in her capacity to actually unify Conservatives?
Since being elected as leader, she's been an incredible listener. She's brought everyone to the table with her, including those who are leadership contenders, took the best of every idea and delivered an amazing platform to Albertans during the election. So I think that ability to lean in to listen is a very important skill in politics, and she exemplifies that.
Is there something you think that Danielle Smith could be doing better, emphasizing something that could really bring anyone who's maybe starting to have doubts or wonder whether it be on sovereignty or some of these issues back into the Big Tent?
Nobody ever agrees on all the issues all the time. Some people want us to move faster on things, some people want us to take a pause, so it's just really difficult to gauge that. I think she's doing a good job.
Well, as Conservatives, we're pretty much all thoroughbreds. So yeah, you want to run this race, you want to go quick. The speed of government is slower than what we would normally have in industry. But if you look at the goals that we've achieved here in that short order, I'm going to use economic corridor as an example, right? So 3 years ago, 4 years ago, no one heard about it. I came up with this concept and this idea, led a task force. Now I'm the Parliamentary Secretary of Economic Corridor Development. We've got a ton of state senators here, even a governor from Alaska. That's not by chance. You got a big event last night. Minister Grisha knocked it out of the park. Transportation economic corridors.
Yep.
So all of that stuff takes time. On the Sovereignty with the United Canada Act, we've had to pull that thing off the shelf and use it already once. People should understand that that's not done lightly either. So we put in legislation that was new to put those things in place, and we've already had to use it. So being assertive, being out there and doing those things, that's part of the game. And the other thing is, you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot before you finish the foot race. So people got to be patient. We're doing a lot. We always want to do more faster. That's just in our nature.
Hey guys, Rebel News is able to cover all of these events and tell you the other side of the story because we aren't beholden to government handouts. Because of that, we rely on your support. So if you want to chip in to help us get out to many more of these events, bring you the truth like no one else can, chip in at rebelfieldreports.com.